Hey, MathKook here. This video contains one of many examples in my Algebra 2 library. The rest of those examples, along with hundreds of other videos, are only available at mathkook.com. Let's MathKook it up. This question says, convert the function g of x equals negative 3x minus 4 all over x plus 2 to reciprocal form. Then find the vertical and horizontal asymptotes, and then graph. All right, so they're asking us for several things here. Let's start with the first one. They want us to convert this function to reciprocal form. Well, what is reciprocal form? Here it is. Reciprocal form is this form, y equals a over x minus h plus k. And a, h, and k all represent constants, which are basically numbers. So in this case, a is your vertical stretch or compression. H here is your vertical asymptote, and K is your horizontal asymptote. So we'll use this in a bit. So the next question is, how do we convert from rational form, which it is now, to reciprocal form? Here is the step. So we're going to use long division to convert from rational form to reciprocal form. This will allow you to easily see the vertical and horizontal asymptotes. Now this only works if the rational function has the same exponent of 1 on top and bottom. And notice our rational function here does have an exponent of x, that is 1 on top and 1 on the bottom. So this will work. All right, so I'm going to erase this chart here, and we're going to go ahead and perform the long division. So on the bottom is going to be x plus 2, so we'll go x plus 2 here. And then we have negative 3x. We're dividing into negative 3x minus 4. So our first step when we're doing long division is take the leading term, in this case negative 3x, and divide by the leading term here. So let's do that on the side. So we have negative 3x over x, which equals negative 3. So that's what we put here first. And then we multiply the negative 3 into both of these guys and put them here. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And then negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. And then we subtract. Just like any long division problem, you always subtract. The first two terms here should always cancel, and they do. Then we have negative 4 minus 6, so plus 6, which gives us 2. So that's our remainder. So we're going to go plus 2 over the denominator, which is x plus 2. All right, so now this here is in reciprocal form. So I'm going to write out our function g of x here in reciprocal form. And I'm going to write the fraction first. It's always nice to write the fraction first. So 2 over x plus 2 minus 3. All right, so that answers the first part of this question. We've changed our function to reciprocal form here. Next, let's find the vertical and horizontal asymptotes. Well, that's pretty easy. You just look at this value here, and you do the opposite of whatever's here. I like to tell my students, x's lie, y's tell the truth. So here, x is lying. So our vertical asymptote is going to be x equals negative 2. So we'll write that here. So our vertical asymptote is x equals negative 2. Another way of getting that is just to set this bottom here equal to 0. So set x plus 2 equal to 0 and solve for x. And that'll tell you exactly what the vertical asymptote is, which in this case is negative 2. All right, next is our horizontal asymptote. So how do we find the horizontal asymptote? So that's just this value over here on the right plus k. So in our case, it's going to be negative 3. So that's pretty simple. So we'll go ahead and write that over here. So that is our horizontal asymptote. So I'll write that here. So it's going to be y equals negative 3. So now we have our horizontal asymptote and our vertical asymptote. Next, they want us to graph. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this so we have some room for graphing. So I'll bring up our graph here. And we have our vertical asymptote and our vertical asymptote and horizontal asymptote. So let's go ahead and graph these first and see what our graph looks like. So x equals negative 2. It's going to go through negative 2 here and just be a vertical line. and then y equals -3, we'll go through y here at -3, and it'll be a horizontal line. So 1, 2, 3. All right, so those are our asymptotes. And notice that's not enough information to actually graph the function. So what we need to do now is make a t-chart of points to help us graph the rest of the function. Now, whenever you're choosing your x values, always choose x values that surround the vertical asymptote. So in this case, we have -2 here. So we're going to want to plug in -4 and -3, two values to the left, and two values to the right, so -1 and 0. So let's go ahead and put those values in our chart here. So -4, -3, those are two values to the left of -2, and then -1 and 0, which are two values to the right of -2. All right, so now we plug these values back in. I'm going to plug in just one of them just to show you how to do it. I'll plug it into the original function here. So I'll find g of -4 first. So g of -4 is -3 times -4. So all I'm doing here is plugging in -4 wherever we see an x. So -4 on the bottom plus 2. All right, so we simplify. So -3 times -4 is 12 minus 4, which gives us 8. Then on the bottom, we have -4 plus 2, which is -2. This simplifies to -4. So we're going to write that in our chart here for the y value. So -4, and then just to save time, I've plugged in these three values into the function on my own time. So we'll plug those in here. So when I did that, I got -5, -1, and -2. All right, so now let's go ahead and graph these points and see what our graph looks like. So the first one's -4, -4, so we go left 4, down 4, which is right there. So we're going to graph that in blue. Next point is -3, -5. So left 3 and then down 5, which takes us right here. Okay, next point, -1, -1. So left 1, down 1, it's right there. And then 0, -2. So we go right 0 and then down 2, which is right there. So that's actually happens to be the y-intercept. All right, so now we have a much better idea of what our graph looks like. So over here, it looks like it's going to go through these 2 points and then approach the asymptote. So I'll go ahead and graph that. And then on the left side here, it's going to go like this here and approach the asymptotes. So let's go ahead and graph those just like that. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and label our horizontal asymptote, which was y equals -3, and then our vertical asymptote, which was x equals -2. So those are nice and labeled. All right. And then the blue graph here is our original function g of x. Also, this function here are the same exact graph. Hey Kook, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. For unlimited access to all of my Algebra 2 videos, visit mathkook.com. Thanks for watching.